What book is that you're reading?
Schopenhauer.
Do you like it?
Okay.
Coming up on Philosophy Talk.
Are we all just pinging about between boredom and pain?
Why does desire always seem to lead to suffering?
Is everything we see just an illusion?
Mostly it's loss, which teaches us about the worth of things.
That's Arthur Schopenhauer. He's a German philosopher, pessimist.
He saw the value in suffering.
He's in the lineage of the existentialists, the doom and gloom and the despair and the kind of what's the point.
Our guest is David Bader Woods, author of Arthur Schopenhauer, The Life and Thought of Philosophy's Greatest Pessimist.
If you can overcome Schopenhauer, you can overcome any existential despair.
Living Your Worst Life. The Philosophy of Arthur Schopenhauer.
I never knew Schopenhauer was a philosopher.
Coming up on Philosophy Talk.
Do all philosophers have an S in them?
You know, Josh, I think we've teased these people long enough.
With the starters, that's a classic move, Ray. Introduce the problem, pique people's curiosity, and leave them wanting more.
Well, they can have more. The paywall is finally down. We've unlocked the entire 20-year Philosophy Talk archive.
So every guest interview and every full-hour conversation is now completely free?
Every single one. So I think we should tell them.
If you're tired of the appetizer and want the full feast, head on over to our main feed. Just search your app for Philosophy Talk.
And now, on with the show. Is life just endless suffering?
Are we all just pinging about between pain and boredom?
Is there anything we can do to be less miserable?
Welcome to Philosophy Talk, the program that questions everything.
Except your intelligence. I'm Ray Briggs.
And I'm Josh Landy. We're coming to you via the studios of KALW San Francisco Bay Area.
Continuing conversations that begin at Philosopher's Corner on the Stanford campus, where Josh teaches philosophy.
And at the University of Chicago, where Ray teaches philosophy.
Today, we're thinking about Arthur Schopenhauer and living your worst life.
You know, I've got a huge soft spot for Schopenhauer. He had all those fascinating thoughts about how much suffering there is in life and how it'd be better not to want anything in the first place.
He said that life has no genuine intrinsic worth, and that in our world, happiness is not even conceivable. Don't you find that a little depressing?
Well, maybe, but not necessarily wrong. I mean, look around you, Ray. People are suffering, people are fighting with each other, then they get sick, then they die. Isn't that just the reality of existence?
Maybe, but it's not the only reality. People are also having fun and being nice to each other. We have kittens, cupcakes, cures for cancer. You have to focus on the positive.
I don't know. Look, Schopenhauer doesn't deny the existence of kittens or cupcakes. He knows that people are sometimes happy. He just thinks the quantity of suffering vastly outweighs the quantity of joy.
Well, how would he know? Maybe he was a miserable guy, but that doesn't mean everyone else has to be.
He actually had a great answer for that. So he said, basically, imagine a lion eating an antelope. The antelope is having a really bad day. For the lion, it's just lunch. That's what life is like. Mountains of suffering and molehills of joy.
That's a great zinger and everything, but it's not all lions eating antelopes. You could have a delicious vegan meal, and no animals have to suffer for that. Then you still get to enjoy your lunch.
That's fair enough for lunch, but think of all the other things you want on any given day.
Sure, I want lots of fun things. I want to go to a party and enjoy myself. I want to dress up and look pretty. I want to attract a beautiful partner. I want to buy a cool new car that we drive off into the sunset together.
Dream on, Ray. Like Schopenhauer says, you're highly unlikely to get all of that. And in the meantime, wanting it is going to make you miserable. All that yearning, all those miserable first dates, all those cars we can't afford.
Oh, but when I do drive off into the sunset with my one true love, it'll all be worth it.
Really? Are you really that sure? Schopenhauer would say, yeah, okay, you sometimes get what you want. But when you do, you no longer really want it anymore.
Oh, you mean because your partner turns out to snore and your new car springs an oil leak?
Even if that doesn't happen. Schopenhauer thinks there are only two emotional states. There's suffering and there's boredom. So when you're yearning for love, you suffer. And when you get it, you're bored. You miss the chase. You suffer from no longer having a desire to suffer from.
I don't get it, Josh. You said I'm miserable waiting for my partner to come along, but now you're saying I'll miss the chase when it's over, which must mean that I enjoy desiring things. So which is it?
Well, maybe you do enjoy desiring things in a way, but just think about how much more blissful you're going to be when you give up your attachment to your desires and your sense of self. Just stop thinking about yourself as a special, unique individual, and stop yearning for Porsches and partners and parties.
Oh my.
If you do that, if you manage to give up that attachment and that yearning, you're going to find your frustration melting away. And you're also going to be kinder to other people.
That's all very Buddhist of you, I guess. But I can be a non-self when I'm dead, thank you very much. I like my sense of self. I like my desires.
Well, maybe our guest will change your mind. It's David Bather Woods, author of a new book, Arthur Schopenhauer, The Life and Thought of Philosophy's Greatest Pessimist.
But first, we sent our roving philosophical reporter, Mary Catherine O'Connor, to find the silver lining in Schopenhauer's dismal view of the world. She files this report.
Arthur Schopenhauer was the quintessential pessimist, the original Debbie Downer. Just ask Stanford English professor Blakey Vermeulen.
His worldview was basically, look, it's a very fallen world. Everything kind of sucks.
But to be fair, as he saw it, everything did kind of suck.
He took this kind of grand tour of Europe when he was a young man, and he saw this famous kind of outdoor prison in France, the Ban de Toulon, and he sort of took that as kind of an image of what the world is like.
The image was very bleak, and his takeaway was that life is suffering, and he believed that starts at birth.
Do you know what we mean when we speak of the original sin?
Not exactly the stuff of self-help books, but Vermeulen says it can be a guiding principle.
We suffer for the sin of being born, and so therefore, try to be a little kinder, because it sucks for other people as well as for yourself. I've always found this idea very therapeutic.
Not that he always took his own advice. Early in his career, as he struggled to get a foothold in academia, Schopenhauer was living in a boarding house and got into a confrontation.
He was very sensitive to noise. So one morning he heard his neighbor talking outside his vestibule. He got mad. He left his room and he got up and he kicked his neighbor up and forcibly removed her from the vestibule. She immediately stumbled and fell down the stairs.
She sued him and won. Schopenhauer was forced to pay her a stipend for the rest of her life.
She lived for another 20 years, and when she died, he wrote just this little line in his journal, which was, in Latin, it's annus obit abit onus, which means the old woman is dead, but also the asshole is dead. The burden is lifted. So that's our Schopenhauer. I mean, he's probably a terrible human being, but extremely funny.
To understand the unpleasant aspects of his demeanor, consider his early life.
Arthur Schopenhauer's family background has a lot to do with his psychic makeup and with the stance he takes towards the world, the sort of characteristic postures of his philosophy.
That's Michael Shagru, a philosophy professor, in a lecture recorded in 1992. He passed away in 2024. Schopenhauer was born in 1788 to a wealthy Dutch family. His father was a successful merchant, but he died when Arthur was just 17. The family suspected it was suicide. Shagru says Schopenhauer's mother was extremely cold and distant. She agreed to support his interest in academia on the condition that he leave home and stay gone. She actually called him an annoying know-it-all. His inheritance meant he had resources, but he was rootless.
He is at sea in the social world. He has no familial contacts.
He was not a social fellow. He once said, "Were I a king, my prime command would be, leave me alone." He never married, and he spent his time going on walks, playing the flute, and reading widely, and developing his philosophy, which pulled from ancient traditions. Schopenhauer was one of the first European intellectuals to bring Eastern spiritual thought into his work.
Schopenhauer has a powerful strain of Indian Eastern pessimism that I think is a combination of Hinduism and Buddhism.
He observed the fleeting nature of pleasure and said that humans are trapped in a cycle of seeking it only to lose it. Unlike pain, pleasure never lasts.
You never think, my friend Blakey is experiencing chronic pleasure. I mean, you don't that's not really a thing that we say about people.
But in his interpretation of Eastern philosophy, Schopenhauer saw pain and suffering as something to just accept.
It's a very old idea out of the ancient world that human lives are filled with pain. And actually the pain gets worse when we try to struggle against it or reject it.
In other words, breathe through the pain, take pleasure where you can find it, and get out of your own way.
He thought that the intellect was a big source of suffering. And once you try to kind of decenter the intellect and just accept that life is suffering, then you're going to be less miserable overall. And I think that's actually true, or I found it to be true in my own life.
I feel that life is divided up into the horrible and the miserable. Those are the two categories, you know. The horrible would be like, I don't know, terminal cases, you know, and blind people, and cripples. I don't know how they get through life. It's amazing to me, you know. And the miserable is everyone else. So when you go through life, you should be thankful that you're miserable.
For Philosophy Talk, I'm Mary Catherine O'Connor.
You can listen to the rest of this episode by purchasing it on iTunes Music. Or for unlimited listening, subscribe to our archive at philosophytalk.org.